Thank you. Bulbanaka, and thank you for coming today. I'll be presenting the Advancing Spatial Demography Insights through GIS. Here I'll be talking about the Fiji Population Grid for 2023. Special thanks to SPC for sponsoring this trip, and FBOSS as well, Fiji Bureau of Statistics. Just an objective, just to go through the objective, we started with the population grid for 2022. Now 2023, 2022 there was only one grid, which is the total population. 2023 was significant why we created 66 grids, looking at the age group, male, female, and the 5-year age group gap. And not only that, the grid is 100 by 100 meters cells. This I'll be talking about the methods, the cells, and the disaggregation of outputs. Some of the data sources, we use the census data for Fiji 2017. Not only that, we use OpenSheet mapping, some of the building blocks, which helped us with the grid. And not only that, we use the media population estimates from SPC as well, some roads and coastlines, just to add on to the map. I'll be here, I'm showing the methodology. So you looked at the census, the redistribution, and you look at the projection and the disaggregation. It's the reason why we created the population grid was so that we have grids that can be used for school boundaries, that can be overlaid. And not only that, you look at health services as well, looking at projection as well. So the difference between density and the grid is that population density takes in account of land. Here, the grid takes account on the household points that were collected during the census, looking at the building blocks, and integrated with the projection for 2023. Wondering how do we grade the grid? This is a script of the grid, so it was using open source. So we are fortunate enough that SPC helped us with some of the coding. As you can see, just a sample of the projection. On the coding that was used, we pull in data from open source data, from mapping, pulling it from census, and then from SPC's projection for 2023. And I'll show you a bit of mapping that you can see the grid was produced. So from here, you can see the density, looking at the population density of grids. The red highlighted, as you can see, is those settlements, settlement squatters. Means there's a lot of household taken in that particular map. So the grids are a bit significant, looking at areas that are green spaces. Here's just the graph, just to show the size grid going from one cell to another, looking at the cell for 21 to 50 cells. It's quite high. So that shows that there's a lot of population on that particular grid. Just an overview map here in Suva. Suva is the capital of Fiji. Here now you can see those green spaces they were talking about. So those grids signifies that there's a lot of population. Looking at the red, looking at the symbology of the density of that particular area. So we are fortunate enough that the grid is not only one grid only, but there's 66 grids available through the Fiji Bureau website. Towards the next slide, here is just an interesting map looking at grids from different areas. So I'm looking at cities and towns, and not only that, rural areas. So the grid shows that green spaces a lot at the maritime areas. So when I say maritime areas, this is our islands around the mainland. So the towns and the cities, so it's a significant, it shows that a lot of our young population are going to the cities for two things. It's either employment or school. So there are migration as well. Looking at the two cities, Suva and Lautoka, and our town area. And I will show you some key findings. So the key findings here, that the population grid not only shows a high-resolution snapshot of Fiji population based from 2017. Then again, this is just a model. From our baseline from 2017, so Fiji, every 10 years, we have our census. So 2017 was our last census. The current projection do not come down to subnational level, meaning that coming down to a lower level, that's something that we're working on. But for now, this is you can say, our first time for us to experiment this GIS population grid. And lastly, thank you very much.